In 1990s,
Wait,
Wait, can you just wait one
Yeah,
second?
just a second.
I take a while.
She does a lot of analysis. She's our expert.
Okay, is everybody set? All right, go ahead.
in 1997, Dolly the sheep was cloned and became the first cloned animal. During the process of creating Dolly, 277 sheep died. Defective clones also died. Sheep have simpler systems than the human body. So what if we clone humans, there would be more deaths. We are here to discuss the problems of cloning. I am Ian Vanderkinter, and this is my partner Adam Faring. Resolved, human cloning should be banned in the United States. One reason cloning should be illegal is that it destroys the dignity of the person being cloned. Most clones are used as body part donors. Using them degrades them to the state of an object because the reason why people clone them is to use their body parts to heal people. Another reason why it destroys the dignity of people is it eliminates individuality. Many children are taught at a young age that they are one of a kind. Now they are no longer unique if they have a clone. Also, cloning offends religious beliefs. The Bible verse from John had a section saying that all things were made through God. This verse says that God is the only creator, that nothing else should create humans. No human shouldn't be able to create other humans. Other religions also state that cloning should be banned. Protestants believe in that it's not right for humans to pick their children's gender or genes. The Roman Catholics believe that God made people in His image, not anybody else's. Islam people believe that cloning is okay, but as long as there is a father or mother. My next argument will also deal with the problem of there must be a father and mother. One reason why there is marriage is to have children. Cloning may reduce the number of marriages. Marriage is also about having a strong relationship with other people. People who want to marry children will use cloning to have children and possibly avoid relationships with other people. One parent family might have bad relationships. Gilbert Mailander says, maintaining the connection between procreation and sexual relationship of man and woman is good for the relation of that relation and for the child. Without this relationship, a bad attitude can spread through the family. As shown with this collection of arguments, 1. Cloning destroys the dignity of people. 2. Many religions say that cloning should be banned. And 3. It might reduce the amount of marriages.
Okay, good. Thank you. 302. All right. Dan, what did you have for the first? You can wait for a second, Kate, because it'll be before we get this all over with. What did you have for his first argument?
Destroys the dignity of people?
Okay. And Hunter for his second one?
Religions agree that cloning should happen.
All right. And the final one, Hunter?
I didn't get the whole thing, but it was something about less marriage, I think.
Okay, and that's really the only one you
This
have.
pretty much reduces it.
Yeah, reduced marriage. Is that pretty much what we got?
Yes.
Everybody ready?
Okay.
Hello, once again, my name is Katie and this is my partner Rebecca. We believe that human cloning should be legalized in the United States. Lee Stover once said, I I predict that in 20 years, when this bus, i.e. the controversy about the possible harmful aspects of human cloning, is died down and we understand what cloning can do and what it can't do, it will be just one more reproductive technique, like in vitro fertilization, to help infertile people have babies. As Rebecca said, cloning could provide organ donors and cure diseases, and it is natural. Cloning could also, as Bruce Silver suggested, benefit people who could not have babies otherwise. Infertile couples could have children through cloning. When cloning animals such as sheep, a certain process is used. According to Cloning, a book by Don Nardo, DNA cells are taken from two subjects. Said cells fuse, forming an embryo, which is placed inside a female subject where it grows inside her naturally until it is born. One example of a baby being born in this way is Dolly, a clone lamb born in 1997. She died of a lung disease in 2003, says Dr. Susan Aldridge in her book Cloning. Dolly's 6 years of life were fairly normal for sheep in terms of health, and if it weren't for the constant media attention she received, she would probably lead a life similar to a naturally born sheep. Thanks to Dolly, we know that this method of cloning can work, at least with sheep. Plus, the natural ways in which sheep and humans form when they're born are fairly similar, so it would be easy to make human cloning work the same way it did for Dolly. This could benefit couples who cannot have children of their own, such as infertile or same-gender couples. Human cloning, by taking these couples' genes and placing them in another person who could carry the baby, would allow these couples to have children without adopting. There is an emotional side to this as well, as many people believe that having your own children is more rewarding than adopting someone else's. Some people, according to perspective, would rather have a biological child than an adopted one. Just because these couples cannot have biological children does not mean they don't want to. They need cloning in order to get the emotional fulfillment that comes from having a son or daughter of their own. Cloning of humans could also provide more hands for work. This would benefit rural areas where there aren't many people to do the jobs at hand. It has been proven that teamwork and having several people on the job rather than just one has many benefits. There is a social side to this, such as the fact that members of a team become better decision makers and have more responsibilities than those who go solo. However, teamwork also benefits companies financially. According to Lisa Magloff, who wrote an article about the benefits of teamwork on the site Chrome.com, companies become more flexible through teamwork. This is because some people are strong in one area of study and some are strong in others. Teamwork increases innovation and establishes forms of hierarchy in a business. It is also commonly known that when few people are doing a job together, it gets done faster due to the workers' combined forces. All of these advantages can be reached through cloning. Cloning provides more people, of course, and said people can do valuable work, possess important skills and knowledge, and influence the pre-existing workers around them. In all, these clones would be a great help to companies and rural homes alike. Our plan would be to have cloning legalized only under medical supervision. The people who are having a clone made in their image would have to have a clean record both mentally and criminally. People would also have to state their reasons for having a clone. Acceptable reasons include clones being used as organ donors, as more hands for work, or for bringing back the deceased. The cost of a clone would be about $10,000. People who are eligible to get a clone but cannot afford it may get help from the government. Thank you.
Three 3:54 on time. You can wait a second. All right, Katie's first argument, Logan, was.
It was kind of unclear, but the first was cloning is possible.
I had something a little different than that. Yeah, what'd you have?
benefit couples that could have child.
Yeah, to benefit couples that couldn't have children, right, that's what I
Is
had.
that right, Jean?
Yeah,
I was
that-
a little confused too.
yeah, and then the second one. No one has it, I think I have it. Katie, or Jackie,
They had more hands for like working.
and that's what I had. Yeah, provide more people for work.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I had. And then their plan, the affirmative plan. Simon,
That cloning could be legalized only under medical supervision, and they would have to have an acceptable reason for cloning, and they would also have to have a clear record mentally and criminally.
And then they had a cost, did they test?
Oh yeah, $10,000
Okay, good.
cost.
Good job, Sam, all right. That was right, Lindy?
Simon, could you say that for me one more time?
Cloning will be legal only under medical supervision. It would cost $10,000. There would have to be an acceptable reason for cloning, like the clones would be organ donors.
Right, okay, thanks. And plus, also people who couldn't afford it, could have up to that.
Hi, as many of you know, I'm Adam Farron, and this is my partner, Ian Manning. As Ian has stated before, we are explaining why human cloning in the United States should stay illegal. Ian has stated his three arguments that cloning is against certain religious beliefs, against the dignity of the cloned human being, and gets rid of marriage. It gets rid of marriages. My first argument is that internationally, cloning is banned. According to an article written by George Annis called Cloning is a Crime Against the Clone, Dolly's creator, Ian Wilmut, said that it would be offensive to even try to clone humans, and decided with our world leaders in 2001 that all types of human cloning should be banned. This is surprising, seeing that he created a scientific breakthrough, and up until then, only two types of cloning were illegal: reproductive, with adult DNA, and recombinant DNA, for the result of genetic material combinations. Now all types are internationally banned. According to another article by Sally Driscoll and Ian Griswold, called Human Cloning Treats Human Life as a Commodity, proves that 90% of all studies disagree with all types of human cloning, and only 10% of the studies agree. My second argument is that cloning is a crime against the clone. According to that same article by George Annis, clones wouldn't think of themselves as individual human beings, but only a man-made echo of the original person. To have yourself cloned would be self-indulgent because you're only doing it for yourself. This will keep the clone asking, who am I? The answer of this question is an organ donor, meant to only give organs when needed. This could also majorly affect the definition of human beings by changing it to an asexual man-made product. My third argument is that there are uncertain genetic consequences to human cloning. As Ian stated, it took 277 deaths before Dolly was created, and the 278th try. It also took about 24 years before they got this right. Dolly died in February 2003. She was suffering from birth of old age illnesses, such as lung cancer and severe arthritis. She was only 6 years old, half the normal age of youth. According to VitalArts.com, she was born with 6-year-old genes from her mother Matilda, which means she had technically died with her mother's illnesses and an extra 6 years of age. According to a magazine article called Baby It's You and You and You by Nancy Gibbs, out of 40 eggs donated, only 9 will impregnate the surrogate mother. And out of those pregnant mothers, 8 clones will die or be defective. And 1 will turn out with the right age of the DNA donor. But as the baby shortened the clone's life. My reply to Katie's speech is that, well, adoption is available, and if you do adopt, you may get what you want, but you may not. So, if you do, why get a clone of yourself? As Ian and I have stated, cloning is the dignity of the people getting cloned, gets rid of marriages, cloning is internationally banned, cloning is a crime against the clone, and there are uncertain genetic consequences. Now I conclude my speech by repeating what Ian said, that the sheep's body system is less complex than ours. Think of all those deaths that would happen if human cloning was allowed in the United States.
Okay, perfect. This worked out very good. So we tried to teach that.
Good debate, guys.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job on a very difficult topic. And then your time is 4:12. And we let you go that long, so we let Rebecca go 4:11. Good.
All right, take 2 minutes, guys.
Yeah, debating, start planning rebuttal. All right, Adam's first argument, Alicia, was, okay, good. And the second, whoever heard from Kylie. Joe,
It's a crime against the clone.
good. And final, his third one, Justin.
It's uncertain that Tony would work the first time.
Okay,
Genetic consequences.
what was that?
Uncertain genetic consequences.
Uncertain genetic consequences. Okay, good.
Adam, can I just ask you a question? You said, the clone will not have its own identity. It will change, what did you say it will change?
It will change the definition of human being
Okay. I thought that was pretty important.
into a man-made asexual product.
And then personally.
Yeah, you go first to the rebuttal.
Remember, you guys negative your first on the rebuttal. You guys good? Ready? Okay.
Do I start?
Yes,
Okay, first, you said that there was an unlimited supply of clones. There's not, especially the cost that you said, $10,000 just to have a clone. Would it be worth it to have to pay $10,000 to just have a clone of yourself? The second argument was the leukemia or other fatal diseases that you can catch. If you create a clone that's exactly like you, wouldn't they have the disease too if you clone them?
With that, they would switch the cells on and off. So then it's like sometimes they would have it, sometimes they wouldn't, which from what the website said, it said that, it sounds like it would say that they, might live longer because they wouldn't have it all the time. They could get a break from it for their immune system to heal a little bit, and then for the clone's immune system.
that's good. Okay. keep
Okay,
going.
another one is cloning would provide people to work if you use them for body donors or body part donors or having them to work, you're just manipulating them. They're not real people if they're just made to work most of the time. If it is made for the people actually, then for better relationships, you can't really regain a person. As Adam said, it's just an echo of the person. It's not really a person. Like some people tried to clone Michael Jackson or other famous people. They would have to have, but it's not just DNA. They need the experiences to get to be like that. And that is all I have.
Okay.
11 on your time. And then, and just take a second. Now, with the rebuttal, things went well because Ian asked a question and Rebecca started to answer it. But at some time, you can say, okay, thank you, and then the other team does need to stop. So that worked there. Eventually, Ian said, okay, that's good, that's enough. All right. But you can ask questions, or you can just make accusations. Remember, you don't have to ask the other team a question. You can just tell them, or tell us, that what they said was wrong.
You guys, the negative team has to attack the plan. The affirmative team has to tell us why that plan's gonna work.
And I know you started to with the cost. I wasn't sure exactly where you were going, but you did start to tap the cost and some of the other things. Okay with that?
The first thing that I noticed is that Ian did not have much evidence, and if he did, I didn't hear much of it. And then with the cost, we said if the people couldn't afford it, they would be able to get help from the government, like from scientific labs or from medical facilities. And then Ian says that it destroys the dignity of people, and it would result in more deaths, and that clones are only used for organ donors, but they're not. Twins aren't used for organ donors, they're just kids. They're normal kids like we are. And then with the reducing marriage rates, it may not, because there may be infertile couples that want to have children but they can't, and it is the same with same-gender couples. And then Adam said that it is internationally banned, but it's not. There are no current laws on cloning. Under cloning by John Hopkins at www.dnapolicy.org/policy.international.php?action=show-all. It says in the United States there's no federal legislation prohibiting cloning for either reproductive or therapeutic uses. And it is the same for cloning as a crime against the clone. It's technically not, because there's no federal legislation saying that you cannot make a clone. And that's all I have.
Remember, refute people. If you still have time, you can always just summarize your points. Try to take up the full 3 minutes. But I know they're thinking of a lot up there. You guys are doing a very good job at the debate. You can give us a minute.
Okay, Adam, whenever you're ready.
According to Rebecca, it costs, and Katie, it costs $10,000 to clone yourself. In their plan, they said it would cost $10,000. Would the government really be willing to pay $10,000 to help someone just to get a clone? It may be too late for them. Like you said, stem cells may be manipulated. But why manipulate them? Leave them be. They're natural. As I said in my speech, out of 40 eggs, only 9 will impregnate the surrogate mother. And out of 9, most will be defective or die. When you clone yourself, your clone will be born as a baby with your age. If you die at the age of 80 and you're 30 when you get cloned, your clone will only live to 50 years after birth. Cloning may be used to heal people, but they have no choice to say no. He or she will be raised like a pig for slaughter.
Twins may be a type of clone, but they're not clones, real clones. They're natural. They may be natural clones, but twins are born naturally, not asexually. You said in your plan, cloning will be legalized with medical approval. Why with medical approval?
It would be with medical approval so that there would be a way to be able to do background checks so that if there was a person who was sick in the mind or if they had a criminal record, they wouldn't be able to get a clone because then it could be used for bad things. So then, yeah, that's why.
So it would be crime involved too.
Yes.
Okay. So it wouldn't just be medical, it would be police too.
Right.
Well, with that said, it wouldn't, if the clone was used for crime, you could do twice as much damage with the clone. If they do a background check, which there's no telling if they would have a second criminal on their hands. That's all.
3 minutes exactly. And you can do this just a second. Okay, Kate.
Ian claims that cloning destroys the dignity of the clone, and that clones are just like pigs being raised for slaughter, going to be used as organ donors. However, some clones are meant to lead normal lives, like the clones born from infertile couples. He also said it offended religion, but not everyone believes in a certain religion, and not every single religion, because we all know there are many, many religions in the world. Not every single one is against that, and not every single one has statements about it. And when he said that it reduces marriage rates, I noticed that he only mentioned man and woman couples, but same-gender marriage and infertile couples, those marriage rates could go up because they would grow together as they cared for a child together. Because as he said, a lot of the time when people get married, it's because they want to have a child. And since now same-gender and infertile couples would be able to have children, of course they would begin to get married. Adam said that that cloning is internationally banned, but like Rebecca said, there's no current law regarding it. And if you can view that as it being banned, what we are saying is that this needs to change. He also said that cloning is a crime against the clones, and this is similar to Ian's claim that it destroys their dignity. As I said, a lot of clones lead normal lives and are meant to be raised just like regular children. He also said there are uncertain results, like that Dolly was born technically with an age of 6, so she would only live half the normal life of a sheep. However, Dolly was born in 1997, and we have much better technology now. 6 years is still a decent amount of time for an animal to live. Adam also said about my argument that adoption was available for these infertile couples, but some people still would want a biological child instead of an adopted one. And what he also said was that some adopted children are not what the parent expected. And Ian said that $10,000 may not be worth getting a clone, but you can't put a price on the life. And he also claimed that it was just an echo of the human that already existed, but almost everyone does work like the work that I said clones could be used for. And it would be the clone's choice whether they wanted to do the work or not. So it's not inhumane to have clones made for work. And then Adam's final statement was that the government may not pay for the clone, but they wouldn't really support, or they would support, but they wouldn't pay the full price. He also asked why they would manipulate stem cells and why they wouldn't just leave them be. But my question is, why wouldn't they? It could cure diseases.